protect the people here in the United States. We do have a couple of guests in the studio right now.
Yes, we do. Two brothers who were on a job assignment there. Freelance photographers Jeff and Scott Sutch. What an incredible day. Can you tell us? First, Jeff, let's start with you. Where were you? What happened?
Well, I was the cameraman, and I was down on Broadway, very close to downtown, only a couple blocks away, going to do another assignment. And my brother had said, Jeff, you better get your camera really quick. I think something traumatic has happened. And, well...
Is this your video here?
That's my video there. And as you see, I got to pretty close to the bottom of the building, and police all hadn't arrived, but some were there, and they had told me, you know, just to wait here, and that's about as close as I got and would want to go. I didn't really know how bad it was, actually.
You have been covering news for some time in this area. You've never experienced this,
obviously. Nothing like that. Just a little calmer operation.
But you just reacted.
Well, I've been doing camera work for 9 years, and I now have my own camera and stuff. So you know, I was real excited to get on it, and that's what happened.
Scott,
yeah.
The incredible story. I mean, it has many layers, but that you were with your brother there.
Right.
And
I saw the plane go by, and like you were saying earlier, like I thought it was a movie being shot here in town because it was so low, and just went. You could see American Airlines right there, and then boom, you heard it, and we ran down there. And it was just really, really horrifying.
Now, were you there? Were you there for both of those crashes?
Yes, and that's, I don't know if you have that, the footage of when the other plane hit, the debris was just coming down all around us. I mean, that was where it got really hairy, and that's when we said, let's get out of here. Let's
we'll probably see that shortly. We see all of the people, Jeff and Scott, running. Did you stop to talk to any of them?
Well, we didn't really stop. Most people were crying, and a lot of people were, you know, just could not believe it. Everyone's eyeballs were like looking at a movie screen, it seemed like, you know. And just when the debris was falling all around us, you know, some people were injured right in front of us, which was pretty painstaking, and that was the time to get out.
What about the air quality? I mean, we see all that white stuff falling. I mean, how was it to breathe?
It was prior to that. We could actually see the cloud coming down Broadway, and we were, you know, jogging on foot, and we had actually got to beat it, and it looked like a tidal wave coming down the street.
Because we weren't downtown at the time when the building collapsed. As soon as the second plane hit and that shrapnel came down all around, we said, this is crazy. Let's get out of here, because, you know, like you said, just 20 yards in front of us, a big piece of metal like the size of a car hood.
And also, what we're not showing here is Scott and Jeff, of course. Wow, look at that explosion. You were there, you saw that right there?
Yes, we're standing right down.
Well, just describe that for a moment.
You know, I was looking through the camera, but actually I remember just like pulling the camera away and letting it run and just looking at it with my own eyes, and you know, it just couldn't believe it. It really felt like I was filming a movie or something. It was
really the scariest part is when you see the debris and all the stuff that are coming down out of the sky. You didn't know where to run. You know, people were running out into the street, but I was just like, stay back, stay back, stay against the building. And you know, that was the
people were. I didn't get the shot, but people were crawling under any type of car or like a dumpster or anything like that. Yes. There was a cement mixer there, and an entire construction crew was huddled underneath it for a minute.
Yeah, this is also such a delicate and a sensitive area, but we have had reports, of course, of people either falling out of the building or jumping out of the building, and I just thought maybe you might just touch on that, and I understand the sensitivity about this.
Yeah, well, someone had said I was getting a shot focusing, and someone said, I think that's a person that fell, and then I got a better shot, and it actually appeared to be certainly a person falling from way up high.
Did you get a chance to, I know that the cell phone, people running to telephones because cell phones weren't working. I see one of you has a wedding ring on. Did you get a chance to talk to your family and let them know?
Absolutely. I have a wonderful wife, Tracy, and I'm expecting our first baby coming up. So,
did you see all that go
I did get to talk to her, yeah, pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Dana, also what we're seeing here, these two young guys, Jeff and Scott, we had Marcella Palmer on the air. Maybe you saw her a bit earlier. She was telling us her personal story of what happened, and she showed us some photographs, children of one of the victims. And I can see tears in your eyes as well, Jeff.
And his brothers. I mean, to be there with your brother.
It's a little
Scott.
crazy, yeah.
And she teared up, and we're all sort of getting hit by this, and because it is just such a human tragedy. I mean, it's just unbelievable to try to talk about it and to report on it, which is what our job is. Unfortunately, we have to bring these events to people. But I'm looking again at your video, and how long were you actually there? How long did they allow you to stay there to actually do this?
I rolled about 13 minutes of footage, of raw footage, and there's a part in the tape there where I'm just concentrating on the building that's burning up top, and a police officer was actually physically moving me as I was trying to shoot, and then I finally sort of put the reality back back into me of
Your own.
how close and really what could happen.
And it was really dumb to be there, because if the building would have collapsed when we were at that point,
You wouldn't be here.
I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure you'll be hearing about that a little bit later on today from some of your loved ones. Were you by any chance there 8 years ago with the World Trade Center bombing?
I wasn't, but right after that, I was going to do an assignment for a bank to interview a bank person in that building, in the security, and everyone used to talk about how secure that area was and how they did such a great job. I mean, it was hard for a photographer to get in the building. It took you had to allow at least an hour ahead of time extra.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Jeff and Scott Sutch, so very much for sharing it. Good luck with Tracy.
Glad you're both safe.
And the
Thank
baby.
you. I appreciate it.
Best of luck on that.
Let's jump over to Cindy Hsu right now.